Hey, wanted to just do a little channel trailer, I guess, here to give people a bit more insight into the person behind this channel who's been taking all of these videos and I guess give people some sense of who I am. And this is sort of how I show up to most of the shows that I record. I'm also known to show up in one of these, especially at a bigger show, but yeah, I've been really going hard in terms of trying to see a lot of local shows as of 2025. And 2026, it's been even more of that. I'm going to at least one show nearly every week. So there's going to be no shortage of content for the foreseeable future. Yeah, but I wanted to sort of also just make it known that, I am doing this sort of looking like this. And I basically didn't want to have to make the choice between being COVID cautious and going to see lots of concerts. And so I'm doing both. I am, protecting myself, protecting my community, but also going to enjoy a lot of great, awesome music from both local bands and bigger bands that come through town. And it's been really, really incredible, honestly, and has made these last few years bearable, which is saying a lot because, the world just keeps doing a lot of very frustrating stuff, and music has been really a balm for me to sort of soothe just the intensity of being someone who is aware of the state of the world and who is angry and who really wants better for all of us. And so it's been really great to just get the chance to be in rooms filled with people who also love music and sing along and just enjoy what the Ottawa scene in particular has to offer, but also the scene in some other cities. I've been very lucky to do a lot of traveling in the last few years and seeing shows out of town, and so I hope for people, if you have any curiosity, especially about these local bands, I hope you are able to, see some see some sucky shots of those bands and get a sense of what it's like to see them live and maybe get a little bit more excited about getting to see them. Sometimes, especially in Ottawa, I think we're really good about having local openers for out-of-town bands that come in. So maybe you're like, I don't know who this opener is, but I want to know more about them. So I hope that this can be a good resource for that. And I hope, for people who can't get out to shows for whatever reason, I don't necessarily want to replace going to shows completely, but I understand that the world is not accessible to everybody. And so I hope for those people who can't necessarily make it out directly, this is a way to sort of get excited about especially the Ottawa scene. But yeah, to get the experience of being at shows. Yeah, and I will say, for me, the recording is definitely secondary to enjoying the show. So, I'm usually recording on a phone, on this phone in particular. And, a lot of the times I'm holding it, and it's not in front of my face. It's, down here somewhere, and I'm, moving around and stuff. So, sucky shots of shows, it's very much trying to make sure your expectations aren't too high, but I do hope that people can get something out of seeing these shows and that it gives you maybe somewhere to start in terms of branching out and getting into some more local bands or smaller bands that you might not have heard of otherwise, because I've definitely found that to be my favorite part of just seeing more shows, is realizing there are so many good bands out there, and we are just really spoiled, honestly. In Ottawa, at least, we talk a lot about Ottawa being boring, but if you go to ottawagigs.com, if you follow Spectrasonic, if you follow Chord Productions, there are good shows happening every week, and we just have so many options out there, and it's really just about knowing where to look and being open to trying something new. So, I hope this gives you a way to do some of that and, yeah, enjoy the experience of seeing these shows that you may or may not have been to, reliving the shows that you may have been to, finding some new stuff. So, I hope, you get some enjoyment out of this and, say hi if you see me at a show.